Welcome back to Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Last time we completed Sea of Hope and unlocked Neo-Tanks for the Gold Comet Army, and now we have 3 missions to go for. Duty and Honor for Kunde, Foul Play for Sensei, but I think I'm actually going to be going for a Mirror Darkly this time. Not only does it have a little lower difficulty than the others, but I was just talking about Sonia and things that I wish, she did in the story, and this is probably Sonia's best story moment, and also one of the best story scenes in the Wars series, in my opinion. Also, we used Sonia last in the first half, so I thought it would be fitting to use her first in the second half.
Of course.
She can't do that without her power active. Mirror Darkly.
Well, just as I thought. Ah. Aha. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me get this straight.
Oh, okay, I wish this half of the line was voiced, because this really completes it. So yeah, I love this because Lash gets a taste of her own medicine for once. I mean, kind of, but when she's counterattacking, she is.
Oh.
For once, smug Sonia is on our side. Oh boy, yeah, Sonia, you better not, be careful what you wish for, because, she's gonna take exact words into account here. Because if a single one of Lash's units touches the HQ, even if it's not an infantry, you instantly lose. Now, this is actually one of my favorite missions in all of Black Hole Rising, but I'm going to have a while to explain why. So firstly, let's get my rockets set up here. So it's going to take a little while to get everything all set up, and in general, this mission is kind of about whether you cluster your rockets around the top or the bottom of the map. I mean, technically speaking, the top of the map is probably better because that's where all of her units will end up anyway. But you might want to do a little bit of damage to them on the outset. So that rocket's going to go here. I'll cover the units near the HQ later because they're a little special. They're very, very special. You might notice that we've got an APC there. We have another APC down here. Your APCs are really important in this map because you need them to resupply your rockets with ammo. If your rockets all run out of ammo, then bad things happen. But okay, we're not in really a very good position to actually do some real damage with our rockets just yet. But the recons and the mechs here, they are for scouting, and this is where the true yeah, this is where this battle truly lies. This is going to be all about vision, and in particular, a place like this, a mountain here, where this thing won't be able to get attacked except by foot soldiers is going to be a really useful vantage point. So... Yep, that's not great. Thankfully, I don't think she can see that mech just yet. But, she's got a whole lot of units around this area. You really don't want your mechs in the mountains to die, because they're what gives you your vision. So again, putting them in places like this is better, because they're gonna get, that vision there from the mountain, and they're not really gonna be in a position where anything besides a foot soldier can attack them. Speaking of which... Okay, yeah, some units can actually reach my mechs, so I'm actually gonna put this mech here. Again, like, the key is putting them in places where, again, firstly, the key is to get as much vision as possible, but also the key is to put them in places where they can't be attacked. Now, speaking of which, I like to hide my indirects in the woods up here, and then put a medium tank on the HQ, and then try and hide the other medium tank in a forest just so that it can rush out and ambush things later. So, there's actually something kind of weird about the way this mission works. And I don't know if it's going to be any different in the remake, because the AI is definitely a little bit different. And, I wanted to turn the capture animations off, but I may as well have this up here. But yeah, because of the recon, she can now see this mech. It's actually not great, because it might end up dying. Yeah, you'll see right here, I really shouldn't have done this. You generally want to put the mechs in places where that doesn't happen. Because now I just lost vision to a whole lot of tanks at once. Okay, you can see that medium tank now, but it is a medium tank. So, the thing about the AI, a quirk of the AI in the original Black Hole Rising that made this mission ironically easier on hard than it was on normal is... Yeah, she has a whole bunch of Neo-tanks, by the way. Thankfully, she's an adder, otherwise she'd be on your rate. Like, this is one of those rare missions where, if she was an adder, it would actually be a lot harder. Also, yep, she has a lot of units. Let me just check the totals here. Not that, it's in status. 39! Yeah, that's a lot of units. So you are really meant to sort of shepherd these things into range, although if you ever get a chance to take a shot at a Neo tank, you should probably take it. But anyway, what I was saying is, so, Sonia gets plus 50% firepower on counterattacks. And this medium tank is on an HQ with 4-star defense. In the original Black Hole Rising, the AI actually considered that an unfavorable engagement, and so would never attack the medium tank on the HQ, and you could not possibly ever lose this battle. Because, yeah, it basically takes a look at that 4-star defense and Sonia's 50% counterattack firepower and just says, nope, nope, not even gonna try. But I don't know if that's going to be the case in this version. In fact, I highly doubt that will still be the case in this version. Yeah, now this rocket, I want to move a little closer to my HQ right now. The general idea here is, like, there are two kind of keys to this mission. As long as you keep them in mind, you've generally got this. The first is, like I said, don't lose your mechs, you really, really need vision. The second is... if you can take a shot at an enemy mech, always do so. As strange as it might seem, the key to a Mirror Darkly is learning that the biggest threat in this map are the enemy mechs. Not even the Neo-tanks, it's the mechs and the infantry. Why? Because they can cross the mountains and kill your rockets. Nothing else in this map can do that. As long as none of these tanks get to the HQ, they're not really a threat. And I've got a whole lot of indirects positioned to blast them if they even try. No, the real thing you have to be concerned with are, like I said, the mechs and possibly infantry if they get close enough. Because yeah, they can potentially cross the mountains and kill your stuff. Like this right here. See this mech right here? So I should have a chance to shoot that mech next turn. Yeah, that's the general idea of how this map works. If you have the opportunity to shoot a mech with one of your indirects, always, always, always do it. Another decent key to this map is that, yeah, you also want to make sure you kind of keep the HQ covered, because Lash will eventually cluster herself around there towards the end. But is that you want to make sure that... Okay, yeah, here, the other potential... This is why I took a shot at this artillery as well, because they're the other threat. So yeah, that recon might look scary, but it's like, she is not even gonna try to attack that. But as you can see here, the mountains mean that none of these vehicles are ever gonna threaten your rockets and artillery. But the infantry, but the mechs and infantry can. So again, I know I keep kind of stressing this, but that is the key to this, and it is also something that, that, yeah, is a little, it's not actually entirely obvious that that's the key to this map. Oh yeah, but also speaking of this, yeah, so another thing about this map is you want to make sure that you keep both your sides, like both the indirects on both your sides of the map relatively evenly spread out, because otherwise she might cluster all of her forces around one side of the map, as opposed to the other. In general, as long as you keep a good amount of them in the north, where, again, Lash will end up anyway, it usually won't be too bad, but, yeah, you've got to be a little careful about that. If she's... Because, yeah, you want to make sure that you can shoot as much as possible, and, again... Okay, this is super tempting. But again, it's really, like, again, that recon's not actually a threat to me at all. I mean, it is a threat to me vision-wise. So she does see that I have a rocket over here, but she doesn't have any mechs in the area, so yeah. However, I do have a whole lot of rockets, and, yeah, failing being able to shoot a mech, you should probably try and shoot a rocket. Oh, I don't have enhanced vision. So, like here's the thing, okay? If I get enhanced vision... Oh, wait, no, I don't have range to that mech anyway. I was thinking, like, that if I get enhanced vision, I kind of want to use it just to see that mech and kill it, but it doesn't look like I'll be able to do that, so instead, yeah, I'm going to focus on... Probably a good idea to focus down, like, the Neo tanks, because they're the actual threat to your medium tanks. I do have enhanced vision now. Unfortunately, that other Neo tank is not quite in range. And it's also probably best to... Speaking of things not in range, nothing is in range of that artillery either. It's also probably best to damage a whole lot of her units, but don't actually destroy them. It might force her to join, but it also makes it easier to go for a big push for power later, which I probably will end up doing. And yeah, to an extent, I kind of prefer to target the far back units over the forward units, because like the forward units are going to be in range of these units soon anyway, whereas the far back units, it's going to take a little longer before they really get into range of stuff. So I might as well shoot them while they're in my sights. And again, as long as I keep this mech here, the only threat to it is infantry on another mech. Now, the other mech is going to go, like, here, but again, that is the key to this map. Always make sure to kill a mech if you can. So at this point, I almost wonder... again, like I said before... Also, does she have... Okay, she does have Prime Tactics. Prime Tactic is not really going to help her all that much, except it will make her infantry and mechs almost indestructible. I'm debating whether I do that, because what can reach it from there? Like, the thing is, my purpose in doing that isn't so much to hurt that, it's to try and lure some of her units over to this side. I kind of want to see if this makes her spread out her army a little bit more and go into range of some of my indirects, but, as it stands, yeah, it's generally better to... Yeah, this is a good spot for that mech. That mech's in a perfect spot already. Generally speaking, Sonia doesn't need to worry about vision all that much, but, like, you want to have a really good bunch of rockets, and again, an evenly spread bunch of rockets around these areas. Just so that she keeps marching her troops forward, and wherever she goes, she gets hit by, well, stuff. I don't think I'll move anything else, yeah. But I am looking forward to what happens when she gets near my HQ, because I want to see if the AI actually attacks the medium tank this time.
Let's play.
Because if she really considered her objective... she would just pile in on the medium tank, because eventually it will die. Also, welcome to one of the longest prime tactics you will ever see. Not even in the Blue Moon Factory mission, which is against Lash, spoilers. I like how that sound effect goes on for so long. But, because even, like, the Blue Moon Factory mission doesn't even tend to go on for that long. Okay, that's... okay, it's still 3 HP, that's fine. This is my first time kind of hearing the power theme in full, really. Because she hasn't made good use of her power in many other maps. Okay, that got... maybe I should have shot that. That's actually bad. I forgot that you could go back that far. Wait, what's... oh, it's just... I was worried for a second that there was, like, a rocket or artillery down there. Oh, she is retreating to repair with a few things. Also, that's bad, because that's a lot of firepower bonus. Okay, she's still moving forward, though. Yeah, so that's the other reason why you don't want to put mechs on, like, mountains that are 1 tile wide, because anti-air can reach them there. And she is actually going towards the right, which was what I was hoping for. Oh, she does have rockets, yeah, so that's a thing. Ah, and my rockets here are not actually on woods, which means that she sees them. Interesting. Because I kind of wanted to kill that, but I need to hit that rocket now. And, like, to be honest, counter break is not actually, like, super useful in this map. Because most of your things are indirects. Like I said, Sonia's actually not the best with indirects. Oh, I do have counter break, though. It might help me see if she has anything in these woods, so I'm going to go for it.
I see right through your plans.
I kind of wish Sonia had a unique power quote for this map, though. Because the whole point of this map is really to establish Lash as, like, Sonia's evil counterpart, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on when I probably have some time to afford to, not have to concentrate constantly. I do really like Sonia's power theme, though. It's just kind of, I mean, it seems a little weird at first how it's like Oompa music, but, it does fit. Though this part of the song, I did always think, like, what I used to think was the backing track actually does seem to be, like, the main melody, and they did emphasize that a little bit more in Dual Strike. That part of the song specifically. So in the original GBA version, the that part, that wasn't really as emphasized and sounded a little bit more like it was, again, the backing and not like the actual track. Whereas, like, I always used to hear that part of the original song as it's, again, I'm not good at singing and stuff, so it's kind of a little hard for me to really convey that, but, like, hopefully you get the idea. %9 damage with rockets! Yeah, that is why Lash is, a little bit irritating to go up against when she's using her power, but at least I caught this thing out on the road. Her mechs are getting a little bit distracted by, and yeah, usually I like to spread the, the damage around instead of going for full-on kills. Again, because it makes power easy, but also because, because it can kind of force her to join things. In this case, I'm going to hit the tanks because the anti-air are no match from my medium tank. So yeah, this mission is sort of in a way all about, like, target priority and stuff. I can't rush my medium tank in just yet, though, because she has a Neo tank down there, though I feel like she's probably going to scout it and attack at this turn. But Sonia doesn't have the... oh yeah, she has counter break active, so... actually, that is an interesting point, I just realized. If I put you on this city, If Lash tries to attack this with a Neo Tank, I get the strike first effect and plus 50% firepower with counter break. This medium tank is probably going to beat the Neo Tank one-on-one. So I'm curious to see if this ends up actually, you know, working. But here is where things get a little painful. So yeah, you're going to go like up there. Yeah, there aren't a lot of units around that side, so I guess I can kind of creep these rockets a little bit further up. Yeah, you gotta keep your ranges overlapping as much as possible. And like this guy right here, yeah, if he jumps back here, the only thing that can get to him is a foot soldier. And he's still just as good as scouting at 2 HP. I don't really know. Again, my mechs, that's a problem. She definitely sees some stuff in here, so I need to... Unfortunately, I kind of have to move this mech back a little bit. And then this mech also needs to focus on not dying right now. I'm going to move you back to the type of mountain where you can't get hit. And then... Okay, this seems weird, but I'm doing this just to make sure that Lash doesn't kill this mech. Because the interesting thing is that technique is relatively easy on this mission. You're actually not at much risk of losing a lot of units here. That's the weakened rocket, right? Yeah, okay, that's the weakened rocket. As long as you make sure to prioritize indirects or mechs and infantry. Like, they are the main things that are... Okay, I was hoping you would do that, because I might take a little bit of damage here, but watch how much damage she takes in return. Yeah, for medium tank versus neo tank, that's not bad at all. Like, for medium tank versus full health neo tank. Like, I actually came out on top, and that's with Sonia's bad luck penalty. Yeah. Also, this medium tank is gonna actually hold up a lot of her army in there, and that means that my rockets and stuff will be able to shoot them. So this might actually also be a valid strategy. Keeping a medium tank back here to, again, basically just force Lash's army to bottleneck itself into it, so that your indirects can do some damage. Now... yeah, I do probably need to hit these. Again, I like to go for the medium tanks and the neo tanks just to weaken them, so that by the time they get to my medium and neo tanks, okay. Here's the thing. I will try and kill this now, because like I said, you gotta be careful of mechs and infantry trying to go over the mountains. They are the only thing that's really a threat to your rockets. So definitely prioritize them where you can. I guess I'll hit the further back one. So right now, this mission is mostly just a case of I don't know how many other... This is just weird that I was thinking of a Blackadder reference of all things, and it's an element of Blackadder that not a whole lot of people reference, because I feel like a lot of people outside the UK mostly remember like the World War I Blackadder, which is I guess a little bit more relevant to this game. But from, I think this was from Series 3, which is actually my favorite Blackadder series, where Blackadder says that, like, the prince has landed the leading role in a play, but the play's name is Thick Jack Clot Sits in the Stocks and Gets Pelted with Rancid Tomatoes. And that's basically this situation, except the stocks is this area here, and the rancid tomatoes are my artillery and rockets. So basically this is just Lash gets pelted by artillery, and just sits here. So, yeah, while that's happening... Okay, she has another rocket down there. I cannot move that mech because otherwise the recon sees it and then the mech will die because of the rocket. And okay, that thing's running out. I love how the APCs just have to run back and forth and just resupply everything. It's kind of cool. Like, it's sort of rare that you see, like, APC resupplying be such sort of a key part of the map, but it sort of is. It's the APC's job to sort of be ammo runners. But okay then. Yeah, I'm going for the full health units. Yeah, I'll talk about, like, the story aspects of this map in a moment, because... Okay, there's more Neos down there. Of course, the part of this map that I hate is when she actually has some units left down here at the very end, because you have to rout her, because she has no HQ. In terms of like the gameplay aspects that I can continue to discuss here, so on normal mode you have like, I forget, it's like 3 tanks or so, and again, like your starting forces on hard mode are actually better because you got 2 medium tanks, which are really, oh, that's not good. Well, you did move into a position to kill my rocket. That is my literally my lowest rocket, so losing it's not really going to set me back that much. But yeah, medium tanks really benefit from Sonia's increased counterattack firepower, just because, like, as you can see there, they can actually take on Neo tanks reasonably well with favorable terrain. Though if that's a full HP Neo tank, oh, it's not quite a full HP Neo tank, but it may die to the other medium tank, but if it did, it's... Oh, yeah, there's another Neo tank. But yeah, it kinda, I guess, served its purpose, because it did stall a whole bunch of things around there. Yeah, her mechs are a little distracted with capturing. If I were her, I would send them over the mountains. She is in a pretty good point for me to be attacking a lot of her stuff, though. But yeah, it's another one of these weird cases where, like, the starting forces you get on hard mode are, like, technically better than normal mode. And it's like, I guess they wanted to make the mission not too hard, but they may have gone a little bit too far with that, because, yeah, as I've mentioned, see, I'll have to see, I'll have to wait and see if she actually does try and attack the medium tank on the HQ, because apparently the original AI never did. I say apparently because, well, she is definitely in a position to start attacking that medium tank, so I might as well go for a counter break in preparation.
Number of enemy troops. Location? Got it. Counter break.
I was trying to say that back when I first played this mission on hard mode as a kid, I didn't realize that. I still beat it though, but how should I describe it? Basically, I love the way that the Comet HQ looks, it's just so cool, but yeah, I must not have realized that. So yeah, I kind of muddled through this map on hard mode as a kid. I'm pretty sure I beat it, but I didn't realize that quirk of the AI, that if you put a medium tank on the HQ, they'll never attack it. But, speaking of how I fare with this game as a kid, this mission holds a special place in my heart in multiple ways. So, yeah, that Neo tank will have plenty of opportunities to get rocketed to death later. As always, these are priority targets. The reason why this holds a special place in my heart is that this is a mission that I tried for the first time as a kid, and I could not do it. I actually had a lot of trouble with this, and couldn't really figure it out. And just like Showstopper, I considered ignoring this mission. You are allowed to ignore 2 missions per continent, as well as the lab, and still beat the game, because you just need to beat 2 out of the 3 missions in each half before you can move on. And of course, I chose to ignore Showstopper on my first playthrough, because why wouldn't I ignore Showstopper on my first playthrough? So I never really figured out how to beat Showstopper, but this mission, I was like, okay, there's just so many enemies, it's just ridiculous. How do they expect you to deal with all this? No matter what I do, I'm not going to be able to win this, so I'm going to skip this mission. But then I kept at it. And eventually I realized the 2 keys to this mission. The fact that you need to put your mechs into positions where they can't get shot, and the fact that you need to take the opportunity to kill enemy mechs and infantry wherever possible, because those are the real threats to your gun line. And once I realized that, suddenly this mission went from something that I feared would be a complete nightmare to actually very simple, and I was able to beat this, no problem. and I felt really satisfied in myself with that. It was the first time I'd ever had a mission like that. Okay, that mech is going to be invincible this turn now.
You're so silly.
But that wasn't the only reason why this mission stuck with me so much as a kid.
Grind tactics.
The other reason is, this mission I think is a prime example of why Advance Wars 2 may have a simple story, but it's actually really good in its simplicity, especially compared to Advance Wars 1, which was never really considered to be that great of a storyline, and it had a whole lot of weird, awkward aspects to it. I know that I always kind of headcanoned it as a satire, so I kind of got around some of it. But it does seem like in Black Hole Rising, they made a genuine attempt to address those concerns that many players had. I don't think it's a coincidence. There are a lot more moments in Black Hole Rising where you see the COs express concern for their own troops. And I also don't think it's a coincidence that the one time in Black Hole Rising where you have a CO who considers war as a game and her soldiers as basically just toys, she's a villain. And not only is she a villain, but she's contrasted with Sonia, and this contrast with Sonia is something that I did not fully appreciate as a kid, because I never played Advance Wars 1. But now that I guess you guys, if you're watching this, you may have seen my playthrough of Advance Wars 1, and if you're, playing this in Reboot Camp, okay, I do kinda need to kill this, because it's sort of a threat to my, my rockets. But if you're playing Reboot Camp, you have Advance Wars 1 and 2 as one package, and that means that you get to see Advance Wars 1 Sonia, and A Mirror Darkly hits so much harder if you have seen how Sonia is in Advance Wars 1, because basically, Lash is kind of Advance Wars 1 Sonia. Lash is kind of a reminder of Sonia's past, and now Sonia basically gets to fight an example of essentially her past self and all of her past negative qualities. The fact that she ambushed the Orange Star COs and put them into a life or death situation just to test her own theories. Like, Sonia was a very dark character in Advance Wars 1, even for kind of such a cartoonish setting, and I think she was meant that way because Grit specifically calls her out on it. She says, "Don't you think you're going a bit too far with this?" And then there's the fact that Sonia, at the very end of Advance Wars 1, Sonia ends up getting captured by Sturm because she kind of overestimates herself and her own planning, and I think that is supposed to be karma for what she did earlier in the story. So, yeah. So, this mission is essentially Sonia's redemption arc personified, and again, as a kid, because I never played Advance Wars 1, I missed that. At the same time, though, like, and this I feel kind of bad saying this, but I never really lost any sleep over not playing Advance Wars 1 as a kid. Don't get me wrong, I love the fact that I was able to, like, I'm really tempted to do that, actually, but I don't know if that's going to really help. This artillery, though, needs to start moving away. It's not really going to be that useful where it is. Again, yeah, the fact that I didn't play Advance Wars 1 as a kid, yeah, the thing is, this is something that I haven't really gone into yet, but I mentioned that, like, Advance Wars 2 was originally criticized by reviews for a few things. Like, it was generally regarded as a brilliant game. Like, in fact, Advance Wars 1 and 2 were actually listed on Wikipedia's list of video games considered the best video games of all time. And I actually totally agree with that sentiment. I think they are very, very brilliantly designed tactics games. But the main criticism of Black Hole Rising when it first came out was that it was essentially just an expansion pack for Advance Wars 1. It only adds one new unit, the Neo Tank, and one new CO for every nation and more Black Hole commanders, and a new campaign. Like, honestly, if you compare Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising to, say, like, an expansion pack for an RTS game like Age of Empires 2 The Conquerors, that's basically what Black Hole Rising is, but unlike a lot of expansion, actually I forget exactly how much expansion packs for RTSs retailed back in the day. They might have still retailed for a high price, but like, Black Hole Rising was essentially the same price as a full game, and for basically an expansion pack, a lot of people didn't think that was worth it. TV Tropes has a term for that, which is Mission Pack Sequel. It's a criticism a lot of people had with Super Mario Galaxy 2 as well, although I believe Super Mario Galaxy 2 originally started its life, like, literally as an expansion pack. I think it was originally going to be called Super Mario Galaxy More, but I forget if that was, like, if that's right or not, but, yeah. So, the thing is, if you played, like, Advance Wars, like, 1 already, there really wasn't a whole lot of reason to get Advance Wars 2 unless you wanted the new campaign. It really did feel like more... Oh, that was definitely a bad luck roll. But I feel like I'm getting... My Sonia luck is not nearly as bad this time. So yeah, like, that was the main criticism that Black Hole Rising had. And as always, I'll take my own advice. Mechs are priority targets. Because they can creep over the walls and attack your indirects. That guy's going to stay capturing those, so he'll stay in range of my artillery. So yeah, I wasn't, like, too upset that I didn't play Advance Wars 1 as a kid. In fact, it might have even turned me off the series altogether, because I do think Black Hole Rising's campaign is a much, much better tutorial. It eases you into the mechanics far better than the first game does. It's sort of awkward that many people who are playing Reboot Camp are going to start with Advance Wars 1 because that's kind of what the game recommends, but Advance Wars 1's campaign is a lot harder than 2's, and it really throws you to the wolves early. Like, for example, the first mission where you actually get to deploy new units, so in other words, your tutorial for, bases, is Gunfighter, which is a fairly difficult mission even if you don't factor in the base aspects. And it's also your first time facing someone who isn't Olaf, and Grit is a really dangerous opponent, so in general, it's a pretty rough time in the early game of Advance Wars 1, especially for a beginner. Black Hole Rising, on the other hand, the Orange Star campaign, especially on normal difficulty, is incredibly easy. Like, really, 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 really easy. And yeah, you can just hop back there and be safe from the medium tank. I sort of want to just do that to bait out some enemies into attacking and coming in range of me. Because, like, how am I doing in terms of the turn count? 8? I'm not sure. Like, I feel like the perfect speed limit is not really all that bad, but I could be wrong about that. So yeah, the fact that I started with Black Hole Rising when I was younger, I think it did help me appreciate this series more, and also from the fact that, yeah, if I had been introduced to the characters from the first time with Advance Wars 1, with, like, Idiot Andy and Complete Moron Kanbei, and Olaf, and, like, all of that, I probably would have got a bad impression as well. Oh, yikes, that's a... No, it's not a full health artillery, that's fine. I probably would have got a bad impression of the series. So, yeah, maybe... So, in a lot of ways, me starting with Black Hole Rising, I do think that was good in more ways than one. I hate it when those things move backwards. It's really hard to actually track those down because you basically need to use the mechs to do it. Sort of why I want to make sure they're all on as low HP as possible. Okay, there's a full health artillery there. And she can see my my rockets with the recon.
There's more to combat than power.
This is 3 counter breaks though, which I'm kind of surprised at. I mean, again, it is a cheap super.
Counter break.
But yeah, I do think the story of this mission resonated with me quite a bit when I first played, especially just the fact that, like, it's just, Lash is one of those villains where, again, she's just such a great, like, love-to-hate character, and she's always just so, like, overly confident and sort of, like, smug all the time. You really want to see her put in her place, and this mission is just perfect for that, because it's just like, oh yeah, like, all that time. This is basically her being on the receiving end of, Lash out, of setting a trap. and you also get to see smug Sonia actually be on your side. It's just such a great moment. Because the thing about Lash that I feel like as a character makes her really work is the fact that she's just so good at pushing people's buttons and hitting their insecurities. And you'll see, she tries to do that at the very end of this mission when it's over. But, doesn't really succeed all that well, let's just say. And by this point, in the original, you kind of expected to have played Blue Moon first, and like Lash in Blue Moon, she really lets Colin have it. She just lays into Colin and just goes all in on just exploiting his insecurities about being the new guy and his inexperience, and after all that, like having to sit through all of that, it's just so satisfying to see Lash get completely wrecked here, and get completely outplanned by like one of the resident planning experts. So yeah, that's another reason why I love this mission so much. It's like, I mean, I fully admit gameplay-wise, it's not like super interesting or anything once you figure out the trick to it, but the trick is not immediately obvious. Like, again, the fact that, because you're kind of mentally conditioned to be like, oh, she has a lot of medium tanks and neo tanks. Obviously, those are my priority target. I need to hit those hard and fast first. But that's not really how you go about this. What you really want to be doing is you want to go for her mechs, infantry, and artillery. Because again, those are the real threats in this map. And I'm probably fine to end my turn now. And she has prime attacks again.
Ugh, so annoying.
It's kind of fitting that she's giving that quote now. It would be pretty cool if, like, the COs had different power quotes based on how many times they use their powers. Because, like, I can see them getting annoyed at how long the battle is taking if they manage to get, like, 4 powers in the span of one battle. Yeah, that's just an artillery. Something else is probably going to kill that, though. But I did really want to take care of that other artillery before it started retreating. And this is the problem with this map. You want to sort of pursue with your medium tank, but you can't really do that because if you do, you leave your HQ exposed. But okay, then these things both probably die. Actually, no, because prime tactics. 6-star defense from the city, but that's still pretty good damage for 6-star defense. See, at this point, my rocket that's actually right near the HQ isn't really doing much because I didn't really let anything get that far. I'm gonna move that one over. I mean, that's possible. I might need to start moving some of my rockets back towards the south. I do like how, like, the way that this map is set up. Okay, then that might be... No, that won't be a kill because there's a trap in there. So instead, I'm going to have to destroy this artillery with my rocket. Does kind of suck in this map where you have to just run your artillery all, back and forth all over the place, though. But yeah, okay, this rocket right here is in a fantastic position right now, but... okay, yeah, I suppose I'll kill off the one that's healing. And that will... yeah, that APC is doomed. Like, Lash can still win, even with an APC, if she gets it within range of the HQ, but, yeah, let's take that thing out. After this, I might check how many units she has left to see if, like, what I can see is everything she has. Status... okay, there are exactly 6 units that she has left. 1, 2, 3... Oh, I see all of them! Okay, so this is actually all she has left. Oh boy, do I go for the Gambit of Gambits, and, actually, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... I can't quite reach my HQ, though. Okay, so she's not really going to be doing a whole lot with her turns at this point. So I think I can safely finish this, just because it's starting to move around a little bit. I can always... my mech can't quite get in range of that, though. But okay, yeah, you kill off that Neo-Tank. So that's that done. Am I... Okay, that's in range of that, which is good. I am very tempted to chase this thing down with the... Oh, I can't, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because if I move this medium tank off without... Oh, actually, no, the APC just dies, so... Just gotta be absolutely sure. 3 units left. I can see all of them. It would really suck if I lost this now. But okay, yeah, APC is dead. There's only 2 things left now. But they are in a bit of an awkward position for my stuff to really go after. If I put this mech here, I don't think she can actually see it. Because that has 1 vision, and the medium tank also has 1 vision. Okay, I didn't even need to pursue. She just ran right into range of me. I guess she just... I guess she was just getting frustrated and she doesn't value her troops' lives, so she just decided to just throw them into the rocket wolves just to concede. Wow, that makes me think of an actual, like, wolf with rockets strapped to it, which is admittedly kind of cool. Rocket wolves, make that a thing, someone, please. But yep, that's over.
Hey! What do you know? I lost. Well, at least I still have a few pieces to play with.
Wow, okay, that's interesting. The music instantly goes to the dark, ominous black hole theme. It's like Sonia, but it's emphasizing how pissed Sonia is.
Yeah. Don't be ridiculous. I'm nothing like you, Lash. No. Toodles.
Yeah, see, lines like that is just like,
Unbelievable.
Lash is just very good at getting inside people's heads and just hitting them where it really hurts. And it is really fun to see someone like that get taken down a peg. That's why I think she's such a good villain.
I'm not like you, Lash.
I believe she said I never lose Lash in the original. Okay, that's my perfect score streak broken. I had a feeling that took a little bit too long, so yeah, there's a few things you can do to make that go a little bit smoother, maybe having some more units down below just in case she retreats things to heal them. That's probably the key. It was still an S rank though. But with that, Lash has been defeated. Yeah, that is the last time we fight Lash in Gold Comet. Every other mission here is against Ada, so I hope you like fighting him, because we'll be doing a lot of it. Next time, it'll be Kanbei's second mission in the second half.